gentlemen, welcome to the Social Slam podcast. I'm Cobra, and I'm joined tonight by Alex, Madam Tuesday, and a raging volunteer, Billy. Say hello, everyone.
Good evening, everybody.
I just got the fuck up.
Sorry if I woke you up, man. Sorry if I woke you up. Alex, you might have to adjust your microphone level just a little bit. You were a little bit soft. And not the Enzo Amore SAWFT. Just bringing a little wrestling pun in there. But once again, welcome to the podcast. We had a very interesting month. We have not been on the podcast in a month. I do humbly apologize for that. We've had a lot of issues lately, and we're trying to fix that. But John Cena is still a champion. He has plowed through Randy Orton, and he has plowed through R-Truth. And speaking of R-Truth, there were two new releases today from the WWE Culling Network, basically making room for TNA talent. And that would be the aforementioned R-Truth and Carlito. This is just sad because R-Truth has been around since the dying days of the Attitude Era, aka the early 2000s. And Carlito was one of the biggest potential superstars that could have been big but got in his own way during the Ruthless Aggression Era, and one of the first to defeat cleanly John Cena. So I'm going to start with Madam Tuesday, then Billy, and then Alex, if that's okay with you guys. I want to know your opinions on these two releases and what does this mean to not only you, but the state of WWE and their booking.
All right. So with R-Truth being released and Carlito being released, it's more like this. R-Truth was technically still a national treasure. However, though, it still stings that he was released. The only thing that I can only think of is, he's probably getting up into his age, but even then, he's still trying to hold on. His comedic skits will always be, timeless. Hell, I would love it if at least for like the end of the year when he's like either that or he's like ready to retire or something like that, they actually do induct him into the Hall of Fame. He's been doing this for God knows how long.
As I said, the early Attitude Era,
Yeah.
the early 2000s.
Yes. So he's always been like the comedic relief, but he can wrestle. He's a performer. His performances of comedic relief will always be, like I said, timeless. If you look at the 24/7 championship, if you remember those bits,
even though the belt was bad,
the belt was bad, but you have to admit, but you have to admit
R-Truth made that belt. Yes, R-Truth made that belt.
Exactly. And as for Carlito, it sucks. But it's one of those situations where he, like you said, got in his way to become a superstar. Because part of the time, some people kind of didn't really know who Carlito was, and some people that did were like, "Oh, okay, sure," Especially when he was returning to the WWE, and then he joins the Judgment Day.
To add to that as well, I always thought Carlito could have, and what they were making him into the same vein as the Razor Ramon archetype in his early debut. It just kind of sucked that he got in his own way. And as for R-Truth, if he deserves to be in not just one Hall of Fame, but two, considering his time in TNA as Ron the Truth Killings, he was legitimately an NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He held that belt, so it's not like he doesn't have the hardware to do so. Even though the 24/7 title is technically tinfoil. Billy, anything you want to add?
It's just more or less clearing up space for like the teammate guys like Joe Hendry and possibly a return for Dolph Ziggler. Maybe.
Yeah, Nick Nemeth, you mean?
Nick Nemeth. They're gonna bring him back as Dolph Ziggler.
I mean, to be honest, when some of the TNA talent have returned, like Fandango and Elias, they technically kept their TNA names. So it's not like all of a sudden they come back. Oh, we're back to what we used to be. So WWE, to their credit, have at least respected, nowadays the TNA wrestlers want to become, their own being, so you gotta I do respect Triple H for doing that, for basically keeping, for respecting TNA continuity, so props to that.
Yeah, just
Alex, all right,
I mean,
go ahead, Billy.
worst case scenario, WWE decides to be stupid and sign Tessa Blanchard.
That would be stupid. That would be hugely stupid. Why waste money on Tessa Blanchard when you could technically waste money on Ronda Rousey?
Anyways, go ahead, Alex.
In my opinion, these releases kind of change how WWE will look now. Obviously, R-Truth is a WWE for life for being there, like Cobra said, since the early 2000s, the Edge era. I'm unfortunately too young to remember watching R-Truth and Carlito in the Edge era in the early WWE days, so I kind of watched them in the back half of their careers, which sucks because of how the Edge era was, everything going on in there, me being born at the dying age of it. But this is going to be interesting, specifically with the Judgment Day, because Carlito was kind of like trying to be like the Damian Priest replacement after Damian Priest left to become the Taylor Twins. Unfortunately, the Taylor Twins were Ripley. They didn't use him at all in Judgment Day. It kind of feels like he was just there to be there. He's getting up in age. He just came back to join LWO and then turned on Ray and joined Judgment Day, and then they kind of fizzled out. And then, but R-Truth is forever will be an icon. I always loved, him joking about, little Timmy and, being Justin Johnson, the main event was a special moment for him. I'm glad he got his match against the childhood hero. Unfortunately, he lost, but it is what it is. But he was a funny personality. I always laughed at his jokes, and the fact that he made some of the biggest heel wrestlers break character, like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and guys that shouldn't be laughing and breaking on TV. R-Truth did that like nobody else can. So it's going to be a different scenery without R-Truth and Carlito. But I'm definitely intrigued how they address the Judgment Day with Carlito leaving whenever his contract was to be up.
All right, and I will definitely add to what you guys are saying here. R-Truth and Carlito we're getting up there in age. That's probably one of the big reasons why they decided to, kick him to the curb. I hate to say it like that, but that's probably the main reason why they're thinking about the future, as a lot of good organizations do, and let's think of the future, even though it stings, because it's R-Truth and R-Truth. With it was almost like he was veteran scenery. It was almost like he was an Easter egg. Like, oh, hey, he's, hey, remember Carlito? That type of scenario, I felt at least.
It's either that or just like give. It was either that or just like give some of the younger guys a little veteranosity for like to learn off of.
Exactly.
Like, that's how I view it.
That's how I viewed it as well. Anyway, next. So NXT, not NXT, but let's talk TNA.
This is my destiny. This is the proof I see. In this world, I find a way to cross the line. Really?
Swerve.
Just me?
So Swerve. I think it's Swerve Strickland.
Trick Williams.
Trick Williams, who has the TNA title. Basically, he's basically going, "Oh, I'm not going to defend the TNA title in WWE," or was it vice versa? I can't remember. Either way, he's pulling a John Cena and holding the TNA title hostage. So there is that. And but Alex, save the day here. What do you make of this? I'm kind of fumbling here.
I think this is a bad move on Trick's side because TNA has become one of the biggest companies to partner with WWE in a long time, and we've seen talent from the TNA that has blown us out of the water in terms of talent. Obviously, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, the list, people on forever about the list of great champions out of TNA. And the TNA Championship has had some crazy holders. Trick is not the only WWE talent to hold the TNA title and NXT title. Drew McIntyre did it, Samoa Joe did it, and among others have done it. And they've defended the TNA Championship on TNA. Now, this is a different era of wrestling. TNA was a big company back in the early 2000s. They kind of fell off a little bit. They kind of resurged last year with the big talent they had there. So this is a different avenue for NXT and WWE with TNA. So I think this is bad on Trick's side. Defend the belt on TNA, defend the belt in NXT, do both brands because it's good for TV and it's good for business. And I hope he changes his mind and someone smacks some sense in that man because he needs to defend it on both brands and not try to do a CM Punk and run away with it. And one company will just leave with it because it's not good for what he's trying to do.
Right. Tuesday, anything you want to add to this, or?
Yeah, I would say much like what Alex said was that trying to defend like technically two titles within two companies, that's going to be really difficult to pull off essentially. I mean, if you look at like other people that have held other titles like that is I mean, by technicality, we've seen it with Stephanie Vaquer do it once before with the North American title and the NXT title, although it's the same company. That shit is hard. And the same thing to be said. I believe it was Booker T that did the same thing in terms of defending two titles, if I remember. But either way, trying to defend two titles, even within two different companies that are, I would say, one of them Trick already knows well enough, but it's going to be difficult with TNA because I don't think Trick studied well enough into his other competition. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, wrestling is going to be wrestling, and you also have to study your opponents. You have to study the way that they fight. But if you're going to come across new opponents, you got to be able to learn and pull whatever, tricks, pun intended, out of your ass. So you have to like mentally go down the book of like, okay, how do I put this person away? How am I going to put that person away? It's all about calculation.
Exactly. So,
You
speaking of
forgot about
calculating,
me.
oh, Billy, I do apologize. I am completely sorry.
I know
Go ahead.
I know you haven't been smoking that Mary Jane, but your mind is in it. And
Smoke
also,
weed every day.
yeah, whatever. For drugs are bad. And Tuesday, just a counterpoint. Trick Williams not the NXT champion. It's Obafemi who is like the
Oh,
NXT champion. But
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like it. But I feel like it's more like to get heat on Trick Williams as like a heel for NXT and TNA. That's how I view it as. But I could understand giving Trick the belt just to give more time for Joe Hendry to heal up that, or just let him go to the main roster, or because at this point he's ready. My problem is who in the TNA roster is going to challenge him. Like,
very interesting question. Not gonna lie. Which I mean, is Moose still around?
yeah,
Like
Moose is still around.
like
I believe so.
that would be a good opponent for Trick Williams.
Oh, seeing Moose when he was fighting Obafemi, I think it was like what was it? It wasn't it was another PLE. But seeing that match was carnage, crazy, chaotic, but I loved it. But
I was thinking of Mace Warner as like the guy to dethrone Trick Williams, more or less as a heel. The type of character, like you got like one of the best NXT guys while going up against possibly one of the most psychopathic wrestlers in TNA. That's just my cup of tea.
Thinking like Trey Miguel. That'd be a good match.
Yeah. That or just fuck it, bring back Santino Marella.
He's running TNA just that's fine.
no, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good where he's at.
Cobra? Pope Cobra, do you copy? Over.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh,
Discord.
Dang it, Discord. Anyhow, let's go over the Money in the Bank match card.
money.
So we have the Money in the Bank ladder match. We currently have Solo Sikoa, L.A. Knight,
Yeah.
Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and a to be announced final combatant. So let's get into this. Let's make it quick. Who do we think is going to be the announced wrestler in the men's Money in the Bank? I'm going to start with Alex, Tuesday, Billy. No explanation, just who do you think?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Grande Americano.
Ooh, nice. El Grande Americano. Tuesday.
As much as I would like to see AJ Styles be on the next guy, but I feel like El Grande Americano is gonna like fucking do his shit and he's gonna steal the spot.
I wish Chad Gable was there to see it in El Grande Americano.
Yeah, no, he is a wonderful luchador, this El Grande Americano. Chad Gable would be impressed with him.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with a wild card for this one, and I say fuck it, they're gonna push him. Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross.
Wow, that is a wild card, Billy. And I'm going to go with a wild card too. And Alex is probably going, don't say Joe Hendry. And I'm not. I think his day is coming back. I would say Rusev in Money in the Bank.
Oh wow!
Oh shit!
Not what I was expecting.
Another possible wild card might be Aleister Black, but they're gonna put him in a feud with LA Knight.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, LA Knight's gonna be feuding with the Goths, of course.
Yep. So, the women's Money Bank. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and to be announced. Same question. Who's going to be the to be announced?
I'm going to say, give me Bailey.
Ooh, a swan song for Bailey. Okay.
I have to go with my girl, Dark Angel, Stephanie Vaquer. I mean,
Why
love
did
it.
you say? Why did you say that in a seductive way? Just like, what the fuck?
Billy,
Like,
you know why
I'm
she,
agreeing.
You know why she said it like that? Because fuck you. That's why.
Thank you.
Yeah, at least you didn't go full on. At least you didn't go full on Booker T mode. Just like, oh.
What
Anyways,
is
I'm
going on?
He loves that.
Anyways, I might agree with Tuesday on this one and just say Valquez or Stephanie, whatever her name is. I'm not good with Spanish.
So, Alex, did you say your piece or?
He
Yeah.
said Bailey.
I said Bailey. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, has anyone heard anything about Asuka?
No.
No?
I think she's pregnant. I think she's pregnant.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
I think that's why we haven't heard anything from her. She's pregnant. I well, I was gonna say Jade Cargill, but Jade Cargill was defeated because Naomi beat Jade Cargill.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna probably say it's possible Bianca Belair.
Oh god.
It's
Is she
possible. I mean,
okay?
Is
she medically cleared, though?
Yeah, it's a guess, but I again, I'm kind of at a loss. It's been a while since I've really, properly taken a look at the roster. But hey, I've been working. Don't blame me.
Yeah. Same thing here. The only show that I watch is NXT at this point.
All right, and the penultimate men's main event, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul.
Do you really want to know my answer with that one? I'm gonna say that one. Huh?
What do we make of this event?
I hate to say it, but there's gonna be some fuckery afoot, as we know. I mean, at least it's not a title kind of situation. It's not a title kind of situation. However, though, I will see that there is going to be a lot of fuckery afoot. I can pretty much already picture. I can picture referees like fucking dropping like flies.
Tuesday, there'll be so much fuckery in it. It'll have more chemicals in it than Prime.
There you go. Yes.
Billy, now the floor is yours.
Well, I think the winner, the person that's gonna get the pinfall, is famous. It's responsible for cryptocurrency enthusiast Logan Paul pinning Jey Uso.
You mean Mr.
Right.
Japanese Forest?
Oh,
Yeah,
hold on one second. Let me just redo
famous
that.
suicide
Famous.
forest respecter, Logan Paul.
I will
Damn
never
it,
forget
Cobra, you
that
beat me
Dom.
to it.
I will never forget when Dom did that interview with Logan Paul, or he was on Impulsive or whatever, and and then Dom just put out the so
Wanna go
are
to
you
Japan
allowed
with me?
back in Japan, bit?
Not
Wanna go with me? It'd be fun. That's the best.
Oh, yes.
Alex.
This is interesting to me. Obviously, Cody Rhodes doesn't like John Cena. John Cena doesn't like Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso doesn't like Logan Paul, and Logan Paul doesn't like Jey Uso. I think this is a stupid tag team match for Money in the Bank. These four guys deserve way better in this match. Cody Rhodes should be able to fight John Cena again for the World Championship. Jey Uso should be fighting someone better than Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. He has not defended, I believe, what he doesn't defend it in a minute here after winning at WrestleMania over Gunther. This is a match that is stupid, and I think Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso will win just because of the stupidity of this. And if you make John Cena win and with Logan Paul, you're just making Logan Paul look way better than he actually is, because Logan Paul is just a YouTuber turned wrestler who can't wrestle as well and can't compete with the other three guys in the ring with him.
He's not a bad wrestler. He's just a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, he is
I-
literally boiling ass of a
Yeah,
human being.
He's a
pretty
fucking
much. I mean,
heel.
like, he's
Plus,
made to be an asshole heel. I
Yeah,
think that's just what it is.
plus, if I was in his shoes, I would be doing the same thing, but instead of just selling Prime, I'm selling volunteer juice.
Is that really
AKA
what we need? Is that really something we need to consume? Volunteerism?
No.
Volunteerism. No, it's Old Smoky Whiskey, Cobra.
Is it something that we need to consume? Old Smoky whiskey?
Yes. It's not bad.
I'll take
Damn.
your word for it, man. Maybe next time,
Exactly.
maybe when I arrive to Tennessee one day, I'll give it a shot.
Must be 21 or older.
I'm 35. Gonna be 30
I'm referring to children. Dumbass.
Valid. Anywho, but yeah, I think I agree with Alex. It's just gonna be a dumb match, but I believe it'll be a setup match, one of those matches that sets up John Cena's next opponent. And if you say his name, he appears.
Oh God.
He's gonna die
Yep,
saying that. Cobra's gonna die making that point.
It sets up the Joe Hendry versus John Cena WWE title match. And it's gotta be the .combat match. Let's go.
Jesus Lord.
Fuck.
No. Let's go.
We're not-
.combat.
Oh my God.
Are we going to be
Yeah.
talking about Worlds Collide?
No, I was referring to the match Joe Hendry had with Moose, the .combat match. I was awesome with the Dreamcast.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, but
Now, the women's intercontinental title match. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. What's your opinion on this match, and how ironic we're starting with a lady?
Okay. So for the Intercontinental match, okay, let's just call it for what it is, Becky Hogan. Okay, Jesus Christ.
that
Look,
doesn't work for me, dude.
yeah, I know.
Where's Vince
However,
Russo?
I know. Here's the thing. I will say some of the mic work with Lyra did. I mean, like I would say Becky kind of gave her a little bit of the boost a little bit on like some of the mic work, because I will say Lyra as a like an actual like wrestler, she's good. She actually has the stamina. She can with but just basically withstand a lot of it. However, though, with mic work, it could be improved. So I kind of see it. Although yes, Becky is a heel, and although Becky is kind of that person, as to the as to kind of like the heel work, she actually does kind of in a way uh build a little bit with the to build with like the younger talent. So it's kind of like one of those things that's, kind of trying to help build off of, to create, try to at least, it's one of those things that's like, look, that there's a heel situation, that it's all on TV, but at the same time, I mean, behind the whole locker and behind everything is that she's actually very supportive of new talent. So in the end, I would say, I mean, it's a tough call between Lyra and Becky. Um, so it's one of those things that it's kind of like, I don't know who to pick, who's going to win that. But I will say, when it comes down to the writing and the cooking, I will say, Becky is actually good in terms of trying to at least help elevate that talent. Although it is kind of like the whole, oh, well, she's not the first kind of thing, but I think that's just the writing aspect of it.
Right. I will say that I think this is actually shit. Don't skip Billy.
My my thing is more or less like another thing. Basically, if Becky doesn't win this match, she doesn't get another shot at the women's Intercontinental Champion, which means basically she's possibly gonna win.
Alex.
I really like how they're using Leo Vaquero right now. Because a lot of the times NXT women talent gets caught up to the main roster and inevitably dies on the main roster after trying to push them and push them and push them, and they die. We've seen it time and time again with women talent in NXT being caught up and then dying. And then going back to NXT and going back and forth until they get those shots. Lily Valkyria has been a dominant NXT talent, and she has bolstered and exploded on the main roster. And her rivalry with Becky Lynch right now is the best I've seen out of both these women in a long time. And their rivalry has come to a head, and Becky Lynch has snapped. She has snapped like we've never seen her before. She has gone full heel and gotten off the rails with what she's doing with Valkyria. I hope Valkyria retains. I do not want to see Becky win the IC championship. I feel like she's had enough time in the light championships, knowing who resume, being two belts Becky and all the other stuff she has. I think Valkyrie's going to win. I'm really excited to watch this match happen, and I hope it's the last one, but I don't think it will be. I think we get a third match that might have Becky get the edge, but that is to be determined of what happens on Sunday at Money in the Bank.
Oh, nice. So, what I have to say on this is this, I believe, is one of those passing of the torch matches. I think this is a match that Becky Lynch will lose. And I think this will be a match where Becky Lynch will retire. That is a hot take I have.
Ooh.
So, that is what I'm going to say. This is a passing of the torch moment for Lyra Valkyria. I think that's what's going to happen, is that Lyra Valkyria will win this match and Becky Lynch will leave her boots in the ring. that's, what do you guys think about that opinion? I want to hear a little bit of feedback. What do you think of that hot take?
It's
Especially for
definitely
Tuesday.
it's definitely a possibility. Her having her kid and everything during the pandemic era of the Performance Center and, passing the belt to Oscar back then. And how Seth Rollins has basically been the main source of TV time with the Raw brand, what he's doing with CM Punk and stuff. Becky could retire at this point in time. She has the Hall of Fame resume. She has a resume to be one of the greats. And I don't think she has much time left to win championships.
Yeah, that's why I viewed the Intercontinental title as a bit of a demotion. All considered, and I hate to say it like that because no championship is a demotion. John Cena proved that with the U.S. title, but that's anything really. But and now finally, the last match, Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed. Oh, I want to hear. I'm going to start with Billy, then Alex, then Tuesday. I want to know everyone's opinion on this matchup before we wrap up.
Prayers for Sami Zayn.
Damn. Okay.
My personal opinion about this, it seems like what Paul Heyman has been doing with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker is what I've been hearing rumors of recently, that he's building a Evolution type group. Don't get me wrong, Evolution is probably one of the greatest factions in WWE of all time, and nothing can come close to Randy Orton, Triple H, Ric Flair, and I'm forgetting the fourth one. It might have been Batista. Yeah. No one can come close to that. Will this faction be like Evolution, or will it just fizzle out with three of the top biggest heels in the company, with Braun Breaker, Strain, Seth Rollins,
So
Architect in the ring?
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
Mm.
You are saying what you are saying is that you're saying that that Paul Heyman is making a dangerous alliance. That is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is okay. All right.
Because if you think about it, you have Bronson Reed. He's he has the tsunami.
He's the heavy. He's the Arn Anderson.
But Seth Rollins is the Randy Orton of that, the architect, the mind games in the ring type of guy. Braun Breaker's the Batista with the Batista bomb and the spears that devastate you. And Paul Heyman is the Triple H, the leader, the ringleader, the person orchestrating everything behind the scenes to get these guys in this group. It is a common copy of Evolution, but Evolution
hold up. Back up. Evolution was a carbon copy of the Four Horsemen because it had Ric Flair. Which, therefore, that was a combination of the Dangerous Alliance now with Paul Heyman. So you have Bronson Reed, the Arn Anderson archetype. Seth Rollins is your Larry Zbyszko.
I thought I was about to say Rick Rude.
Yeah. Braun Breaker is your Rick. Braun Breaker's the Rick Rude. And then finally, yeah, I think Braun Breaker is the Rick Rude. The powerhouse mixed with mixed with the ability, basically the speed and power. That is my opinion on Rick Rude.
Okay.
So
right.
And all that's needed now is the new talent. So NXT call, that can really show things up, if that makes sense. Can really step into the new role, the Steve Austin archetype, if you will. the stunning Steve archetype. And then all they need now is a valet, and they're good. Like Medusa was. So that is definitely what's going on there. But back to the match. I think, in my humble opinion, I think that this is a kind of a tune-up match, if that makes sense. Like, this is a rehab match for Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed was out with a long-term injury. And Sami Zayn is a perfect opponent to get back up to speed. So that's where what I'm saying is that's what this match is. This is we're gonna have you return to form. Get you back up to speed with a great opponent in Sami Zayn. Which, I mean, Sami Zayn's the thing's gonna lose. Anywho. Anyone have any last words before we wrap this up?
No.
All right.
I will say, because I don't think I got my opinion in.
Go ahead. Sorry about that, Tuesday. Go ahead.
Between the Bronson Reed match and the Sami Zayn match, I will say this is going to end in a very bad situation for Sami, and it's definitely going to, like you said, it's kind of like a warm-up match for Bronson Reed because he came back. Now, when we saw Bronson Reed come back into the ring, he looked like he actually he more or less, I would say, slimmed down, but also bulked up on more muscle. So he actually has more towards the physique, and for him to look the way that he is right now, he definitely is going to, I hate to say it, but he's going to wipe the floor with Sami Zayn. And I would say also Sami, I think he needs a break. I mean, given the situation that he had when he had the unsanctioned match with Kevin Owens, and given the situation of everything else that he's experienced with, especially with Braun Breaker Spears, he needs, I think he needs some time, like just some time to just. I think it's getting to the point where he's starting to feel it. Your body keeps score. Remember that.
Oh yeah, and as someone who could definitely attest to that, me. Your body will tell you when it's no fucking good. So. Anywho, guys, before we wrap this show up, I would like to remind our listeners that we are currently affiliated with Duke Cannon Supply Company, who is sponsoring this podcast. Father's Day is upon us, and why not give him a great gift package? The top shelf bundle comes with the Buffalo Trace, beard wash, body wash, big ass brick of soap, beard balm, beard oil, and a solid cologne bar. Hey, I love the nice oaky smell of bourbon, and a great gift for your dad or your grad. But not only that, they have other gifts as well, other bundles like the Duke Cannon Supply Drop, the Off Grid, the Proper 4-pack, the Everlasting Trio, and the Scent Seeker. Those are their top smellers that they call them. But there's also free shipping on orders above $50. And if you want to take advantage of that deal and get your dad or your grad something to really, really freshen up with, use our affiliate link in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. Show the channel some love. That is Duke Cannon Supply Company. The link is in the bio once again. Like I said, that is it for the Social Slam podcast. We'd like to remind you of our other podcasts Biscuits and Penalties, our hockey podcast. We just had the episode last night with Billy, who just stepped out of the ring. We also have our baseball podcast, Dirt and Turf podcast. And we also have our motorsport podcast, The Lap Down, hosted by Greg Farmer and Ryan Dyer. And of course, we also have our football podcasts coming up this season. Our NFL one, the Hard Count, and our college football one, Passing the Pigskin, hosted by Tyler. I want to also give a special thank you to Newt City's own Billy and Madam Tuesday for gracing us with their presence today in the ring. And on behalf, and of course, if you want to listen to us on all podcasts, we are on YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. Give them all a listen before it is too late, especially with TikTok, because the government is the reason nothing works. Damn Supreme Court. Anywho, I'm Cobra. And
I'm Tuesday.
On Tuesday. And Alex, on behalf of them, ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. See y'all later.